Two.
Hey, it's Walter with Blu-Grit Garage and Anna.
Hello.
It's a lot easier to film these things with two people. So we're discussing going to the 2025 No Name Nationals. Excuse the dogs. Anna's trying to knock on the door to shut them up. It's not going to work.
It's worth
the
a try.
2025 No Name Nationals in September down in Sikeston, Missouri. And last year we went with our 66 Mustang. And that was kind of a lot of fun. And she mentioned that this year maybe we should take something else, instead of bringing the same car over and over again. And she wanted to go progressively in years. So this is her 67 Mustang. It's a real beaut, let me tell you. So we're probably not going to do anything body work. We're just try to make it safe and bring it down there and see what it'll do. And the year afterwards, we'll probably take the 68 Mustang here. And the reason I have them parked nose to nose is because this one was different people's projects and everybody had their hands in it. And I don't really know who did what, but a lot of the stuff was questionable. So, for instance, I'm going to go disconnect every brake line and make sure they all have double flares, make sure they don't leak and this and that, and see how they're routed. In mentioning how they're routed, when I first got the car, the hood was just laying on it, and they had it, you can kind of see the shiny spot across here. They just had a motorcycle or a tie-down strap holding the hood down. And it's because whoever ran the brake lines, I pulled them away, had them going where the hood hinges bolt on. So there's no way to put hood hinges on because the brake lines were back here in the way. So I've got to figure out how to do that. And the radiator, it was a smaller radiator. And the one thing that was kind of interesting is you look at the bottom here, it has a really big pulley. This is a different radiator that I got in now, but it has a different pulley. And the bottom part where it came out was over here, and they had one of these accordion type hoses. And number one, it was rubbing against the fan belt. And number two, it was kinked shut. So I think what happened was a lot of times these people, they're just kind of putting it together to stage it, because there's no way somebody would have put that and try to drive it like that. So I think they were just kind of fitting pieces. Supposedly this engine was rebuilt. I don't know who did it. And the valve covers, I don't think they did too good of a job. That probably was a leaker. So like I said, I think they just were fitting parts. But this is from 86 F-150, I think they said, and has the AOD automatic from the 86 F-150. The guy said he drove it or test drove it. Maybe it was parking lot driving, but that was kind of hard to believe because there was no shift linkage hooked up and there's no drive shaft, so I don't think it went too far. So, but the guy put power brake booster, dual master cylinder, which I think 67 might have been a single. I'm not sure. I know they switched over one of those years. The proportioning valve, I had to pull it away because he had it bolted on where the hood hinge goes. So like I said, that's the same on both sides. I have to figure out the lines. It has Granada front disc brakes.
Why are there two of these?
Well, you can see it's painted blue. Those are the stock shock mounts, and they're not that strong. And these are the one piece, 3 times as thick metal. I'm going to put those on. I had that. And then he had this, I think that's called the export brace. This is called the Monte Carlo bar. But people put a bent bar in to clear the distributor. But once you put a bend in the bar, it's not strong anymore. It just flexes on the bend. It's useless. So I've got a straight one to put on. Like I said, I'm trying to figure things out with this. He did something weird with the temperature sender. What did he do? He somehow hooked up the temperature sender to the intake manifold where the heater core runs, and then he put a block off plate to block off the, I don't know what, like I said, I'm just trying to put things back to stock. He had a block off plate for this, but that's a bypass to the water pump. So, but that also goes to the heater core. So like I said, I'm just kind of going through and double checking there. He didn't have any kind of power steering brackets, so the power steering pump's just laying down there. So hence the 68 being here. So this radiator I had in the in and the outs on one side, the passenger side. This water pump's not that way. So I'm just going to get the 68 Mustang water pump, the in and outs both on the same side. Basically, I'm going to make that like this. I have a bracket like this. I think I have one of these brackets. So I'm going to mount the power steering pump like this. Now this says 289, and this 289 has what was it? 295 foot-pounds of torque or something like that. It's a 351. But I put the power steering down, because the 351, the power steering's up higher and all this. So this is I think a 69 351 Windsor, and like I said, I just doctored it up to make it look like a 302. You can tell the difference between a 351 and a 302 is if you take your fingers and stretch as far as you can like that. As long as you have an average size hand, you see how my thumb's about you put it on the intake bolts. You see how my thumb's about an inch short. The index, the pinkies there. That's how you can tell. That's how I tell the difference. You just kind of do that with your, because the 351 Windsor is an inch wider because the taller deck block. Like I said, this is a 351 Windsor. I'll probably change the valve covers because the valve covers say Holly, and he's running a Edelbrock style carburetor, and I got the Mickey Thompson ones, so they didn't sell carburetors. I don't know what kind of carburetor this is. It says Fuel Force. I don't know what's going on with that. I guess it's somebody took Edelbrocks and rebuilt them. So, but like I said, we're just gonna kind of seeing what we have, trying to make it a little closer to stock. Use this as a reference, and this has a 9-inch rear end in it. It has a 350 gear, and it's an open rear end. So I might just leave it that way for now. The No Name Nationals is just for fun. So it's a peg leg, so we'll probably just spin pretty much just the one tire, unless I can figure something else out in that time. But the main thing is just to get it to run. It's pretty solid. I guess you like my bumper brackets. The bumper's just zip tied on there. There's a few missing pieces. So I notice I've got 1969 brackets for the bumper, and the difference between 68 and 69 or 67. You see the bolts are on top, the 69, the bolts are underneath. So there's no way to bolt it on with the bumper brackets that I have. So I'll just have to trade them out or get some. Like I said, this has disc brakes from a Granada. The guy went and he dyed the seats. They're not torn up. We'll probably just leave it the way they are. There's no headrest, so hopefully we don't get in any kind of accidents with that. The floor is, I got that console from something, I don't know what, the door's missing off the ashtray. The floors, the guy put flat plates in, so eventually I'm going to get the one-piece floor and redo it right, but not for the No Name Nationals. I mean, we're not going to fall through. The rain's not going to come up, so we're good. And the swap meet trunk lid, brand new. It's got a little ding somewhere. I don't even know where it's at. It's so small, so I got it a lot cheaper.
If you can't see it, don't worry about it.
Yeah. So.
Hey, that's a nice table behind you.
Yeah, I had that video of that table, and then after I did it, because she said she wanted it really dark, because her trim on her trailer is real dark. And then she decided, no, it's too dark. I wanted something else. So I sanded it all down. I got the one video, but I sanded it all down and refinished it in oak.
Looks real good.
It's a
no, it was hickory.
Pallet. Oh, hickory. Okay, it's a pallet, and I just cut it down for a table for her because she has in her trailer. It has the bump out with the wraparound seating with the table in the center, but she's putting her dogs on each side, the kennel on each side where you normally sit. The kennels are on the benches of the dinette. Yeah. So this is just a fit between, so she actually has a place to eat. This will be up by the back window. This overhangs the back part of the dinette. That's why the back legs are shorter than the front. So, but that's another video, another project. But the one good thing about this, as far as rust, it's in pretty good shape. So,
just need a vacuum and it's good to go.
Yeah, I guess he had air shocks in it. I see a little fitting. Hopefully it doesn't still have air shocks. If it does, I'll change the shocks. I've got some drag shocks for the front, 90-10, so it'll bring the front end up, and maybe disconnect one of the sway bar end links. That way it had weight transfer to help with that issue with the tires. So, well, let us know what you think. Here's the 351 Cleveland for one of our future projects, but I'm hoping this thing runs so I can just take my time building that. And let's see, what else? Oh, the other main thing that they did, the guy put rack and pinion steering in it, and now instead of the tires turning, the normal way, it turns like this. You have no turning radius. So I'm going to take that out and put that back to stock. I'm going to put a different steering column in, and I have one from, I think it's a 69, and it's collapsible. The original ones had a Spiromatic, which is you got your steering gear box and the rod comes out, no rag joint, no nothing. It goes straight out to the steering wheel, and if you hit it, there's no give. If you hit something hard enough to move the frame to move it back, well, it's going into you. So I'm going to change that out. That's like one of all the little knickknacks that you find, and it's the only thing I'm not keeping stock. I'm going to update it to a newer year. This has the collapsible steering column. It has a rag joint where it meets the column, meets the steering gear box. And the shaft, like I said, collapses. So I've got one somewhere. I got to dig it out. Right now, it has a tilt steering from the '86 F-150, but it's moving all over the place.
At least we know this engine fits.
Yep. Well, yeah. Could you look it over here? I'm taking the headers off of this thing. The guy cut the tubes and re-welded them to clear the steering rack, and who knows how that's going to last. I don't think it was a professional welding job. So let us know what you think. I know there's a lot of little things, but hey, the thing has good bones. We're not going to make it pretty. Just leave the same
function over fashion.
Same rusty primer fenders and all that, and I'll clean the engine compartment out sometime. We're just concentrating on getting it running, getting it stopping, getting it shifting, and getting it safe. So, hope to see you at the No Name Nationals. Let us know what you think, and I guess that's about it. Talk to you later.